Imagine waking up tomorrow to discover that clothes had never been invented. The weather hasn't changed, but your entire world has. Walking outside on a cool morning suddenly feels unbearable. Crossing a snowy mountain becomes nearly impossible. A freezing winter could be deadly, while the summer sun burns your skin after only a few hours. It sounds like a small change, yet according to evolutionary science, it could completely rewrite the story of humanity. At first, that idea seems impossible. After all, clothes are so ordinary that we rarely think about them. They protect us from cold, rain, wind, and sunlight. Today, they're also symbols of culture, identity, and fashion. But thousands of years ago, clothing wasn't about appearance. It was about survival. The short answer is that if humans had never invented clothing, our species would probably have remained confined to much warmer parts of the world. Entire continents might have been impossible to settle, and the history of civilization could have unfolded very differently. But to understand why clothing became so important, we first have to answer another mystery. Why don't humans have thick fur like most mammals? Compared with bears, wolves, or even chimpanzees, humans appear almost hairless. Surprisingly, scientists have discovered that humans actually possess roughly the same number of hair follicles as chimpanzees. The difference is that our body hair became much shorter and finer over millions of years, making it far less effective as insulation. So why would evolution remove something that seems so useful? The answer begins in ancient Africa. Millions of years ago, our ancestors gradually left dense forests and spent more time in open grasslands, hunting and gathering beneath the hot African sun presented a serious challenge: overheating. Unlike most mammals, humans evolved an extraordinary cooling system: sweating. When sweat evaporates, it carries heat away from the body, allowing humans to remain active for long periods even in extreme temperatures. This adaptation made our ancestors some of the greatest endurance walkers and runners on Earth. Many animals can run faster than humans. Very few can keep moving for hours. Anthropologists believe early humans often practiced persistence hunting, following prey over long distances until exhausted animals eventually collapsed from heat and fatigue. Thick fur would have trapped body heat, making this strategy much less effective. In other words, losing body hair wasn't a mistake. It was an advantage. But every evolutionary advantage comes with a cost. The same body that stays cool beneath the African sun struggles to survive freezing temperatures. As long as humans remained in warm climates, this wasn't a major problem. But eventually, our ancestors became explorers. They followed rivers, crossed mountains, and entered regions where winter temperatures dropped well below freezing. The question now becomes, how could a mostly hairless primate survive an ice age? The answer wasn't another biological adaptation. It was technology. Long before cities, farming, or metal tools, humans learned to solve environmental problems with innovation. One of the greatest of those innovations was clothing. Exactly when clothing first appeared remains uncertain because animal hides, leather, and plant fibers rarely survive in the archaeological record. Instead, researchers rely on indirect evidence such as bone needles, hide-scraping tools, and even genetic studies of clothing lice, which suggest that regularly worn garments appeared tens of thousands of years ago. Although the exact date remains debated, scientists agree on one thing. By the time humans expanded into colder parts of Europe and Asia, clothing had become an essential survival tool. Without it, much of the planet would have remained beyond our reach. And that raises an even bigger question. If humans had never invented clothing, how different would the world actually look? Imagine standing on the edge of an ice age plain. The wind is freezing. Snow covers the ground. The nearest shelter is hours away. Without clothing, every step would drain your body heat. Your fingers would become numb. Your muscles would stiffen. Before hunger became your greatest enemy, the cold would. This is exactly why clothing changed human history. Fire certainly helped our ancestors survive. A campfire could provide warmth, cook food, and scare away predators. Caves and simple shelters offered protection from rain and snow. But neither solved one critical problem. Humans had to leave camp. They needed to hunt, gather plants, collect water, and explore new territory. The moment they stepped away from the fire, they were once again exposed to the elements. Clothing became something extraordinary. It allowed humans to carry warmth with them. In many ways, it acted like a portable shelter, protecting the body wherever it traveled. That simple invention opened parts of the world that had once been nearly impossible to reach. As humans moved into Europe and Northern Asia, they encountered colder winters, shorter days, and unpredictable weather. Thick animal hide clothing insulated their bodies, allowing them to spend more time outdoors searching for food and building shelters. Without those garments, many scientists believe permanent settlement in these regions would have been extremely difficult. Migration itself would have changed. Instead of spreading steadily across continents, early humans might have remained much closer to tropical and subtropical climates. Cold mountain ranges would become natural barriers. Northern forests and frozen plains would be places to avoid rather than places to settle. Entire migration routes could disappear from history. Large regions of Europe, Canada, Siberia, and other high-latitude environments might have remained empty of humans for thousands of additional years, or perhaps even longer. Would evolution eventually solve the problem? Possibly, but not overnight. Evolution doesn't work because organisms need a new trait. It works because individuals with helpful variations are slightly more likely to survive and have children. Those changes accumulate incredibly slowly across many generations. If humans had lived without clothing for hundreds of thousands of years, natural selection might have favored bodies that conserved heat more efficiently. People living in colder regions could gradually become shorter and stockier, reducing heat loss. Scientists already observe this pattern in many human populations and other mammals. Compact bodies tend to retain warmth better than long, slender ones. Could humans also evolve thick fur again? It's an interesting idea, but probably not a simple one. A dense coat would help during winter, yet it would also trap heat during hot summers and reduce the cooling benefits of sweating, the very adaptation that made early humans successful hunters in Africa. Evolution usually involves trade-offs rather than perfect solutions. Instead of becoming furry like bears, humans might have developed several smaller adaptations working together. Another surprising consequence would involve sunlight. Today, clothing protects us from ultraviolet radiation. Remove that protection, and skin becomes much more exposed to the environment. In regions with intense sunlight, darker pigmentation offers important protection against UV damage. In areas with weaker sunlight, lighter skin can improve vitamin D production. Without clothing, these environmental pressures could become even stronger, potentially influencing how different populations adapted over thousands of generations. But clothing didn't just protect the body. It also inspired innovation. Preparing animal hides required specialized stone tools. Sewing garments required carefully shaped bone needles. Later, people learned to twist plant fibers into thread and eventually weave fabric. Each new skill encouraged another. A stronger cord could become a fishing net. A sharpened needle could repair tents. Improved weaving techniques eventually contributed to baskets, ropes, sails, and countless other technologies. One invention rarely changes history alone. It creates opportunities for many others to follow. Take away clothing, and the entire chain of technological development begins to look different. Which raises one final question. If clothing helped humans conquer the environment, could civilization itself have developed without it? The short answer is yes. Civilization could still exist without clothing, but it probably wouldn't look anything like the world we know today. Human civilization wasn't built by a single invention. It emerged through the combined effects of agriculture, language, cooperation, toolmaking, and thousands of years of accumulated knowledge. Clothing wasn't the only reason humans became successful, but it quietly supported nearly every step of that journey. Imagine trying to farm through a freezing winter without insulated clothing. Gathering firewood, tending crops, or caring for animals would become far more dangerous. Trade between distant communities would slow as harsh climates became nearly impossible to cross. Many of history's greatest civilizations developed in regions with cold seasons. Without clothing, some of those settlements might never have grown into thriving societies. Technology itself would also follow a different path. Making clothing required people to scrape hides, twist fibers, spin thread, and sew garments together. Those skills didn't remain limited to clothing. They led to stronger ropes, woven baskets, fishing nets, sails, and eventually complex textile industries. One simple invention inspired countless others. Remove clothing from history, and the entire chain of technological progress changes. Another clue comes from the way humans adapt. Most animals survive by evolving new physical features over thousands of generations. Humans certainly evolved too, but our greatest advantage became something much faster: culture. Instead of waiting for evolution to produce thicker fur, humans created coats. Instead of growing stronger claws, they made knives. Instead of evolving shells, they built houses. Scientists often describe this relationship as gene-culture coevolution, where human biology and human inventions influence one another over time. As technology improved, our dependence on biological adaptation became smaller. Knowledge could spread from one generation to the next much faster than genes ever could. That ability may be humanity's greatest evolutionary advantage. Of course, this thought experiment has limits. No scientist can say exactly what humans would look like if clothing had never existed. Evolution depends on countless interacting factors, including climate, food availability, disease, migration, and random genetic mutations. History is shaped by chance as much as necessity. What researchers can say with confidence is that clothing dramatically expanded the environments humans could safely inhabit. It allowed a mostly hairless primate to survive freezing winters, cross mountain ranges, and eventually settle nearly every continent on Earth. Perhaps that's the most remarkable part of the story. Today, putting on a jacket feels completely ordinary. But to our ancestors, the first stitched animal, hide may have been one of the greatest technological breakthroughs in human history. It wasn't simply protection from the cold. It was freedom. Freedom to travel farther. Freedom to survive harsher climates. Freedom to explore landscapes that biology alone would never have allowed. So, what if humans had never started wearing clothes? The evidence suggests our species would probably be far more limited in where it could live. Human migration would slow. Many technologies would develop differently, and civilization itself might have taken a very different path. In the end, clothing wasn't just something humans invented. It became an extension of the human body, a simple piece of technology that helped transform a nearly hairless ape from the warm savannas of Africa into the most adaptable and widespread large mammal on the planet.